How you doing, everybody? I'm Strangest Amethyst, and this is the alpha demo of Nioh. Now, I had absolutely no idea this game was even a thing until last week, when a friend of mine mentioned it to me pretty much out of the blue. Knowing I quite like the Souls games, he sold it to me as something vaguely similar set in 17th century Japan, with you fighting both humans and demons alike, you're decking yourself out in samurai gear, praying at shrines to level up, and in general, it's meant to be tough as nails. Now, give him credit, he timed this recommendation absolutely perfectly. I have been absolutely obsessed with games like Samurai Warriors 4-2 as of late. I'm looking to get Dark Souls 3 as soon as possible, and like a blend of those sort of games sounded absolutely amazing. So I thought I'd give this a go, especially seeing as the alpha demo very recently went up. If you fancy giving the demo a go, you can find it on the PlayStation Store, but you'll have to get going quite soon because the demo will only be available and unfortunately also only be functional until the 5th of May. So my main point of comparison for Nioh will be the Souls games, and that begins here with these bloody graves. They seem to mark where other players have died, but unlike the Bloodstains in the Souls titles where you just see a phantom acting over the last few moments of the Bloodstain's owner, here, when you interact with them, you summon that person's ghost and duel them. And I think if you win, you get however much of this game's currency called, I think it's pronounced Amrita? I'm probably completely wrong, however much of that currency they had. I say I think because I've yet to kill one of them. They're actually like proper hard to fight. So what I thought I'd do for this is have each video chart the journey between the various shrines spread throughout the world, showing a few of my deaths along the way. The shrines act in a similar manner to the bonfires from the Souls games. Reaching one acts as a checkpoint. If you die, you respawn from the last shrine you prayed at, and it's also where you level up and customize various aspects of your character. So here we go, my very first attempt. A slight sense of nervousness overcomes me as I realise I'm probably going to have to get very well acquainted with the controls very quickly as soon as I encounter an enemy. Checking over this way, no loot, no nothing. And there he is! This can only end well. Now, I must admit, I was surprised how quickly I went down there. Nioh does not mess about when it comes to getting hit, especially whilst unarmoured. As you can see there, a strong attack from the enemy took me from full health to nothing in a single blow. Maneuverability will definitely be the name of the game. So this is where I thought I'd have a pop at one of the revenants from the bloody graves. Oh, it's a massacre, it's an annihilation. Yeah, they are legit tough, I must admit. Right, so with our first enemy taken down, it's time to move along. Now, just along here, there was a little campfire. I wager there's probably some pretty good loot over there. So, I'm considering, can I take on two people at once? You know what, why not? I've learned how to kill one person. Surely I can take on two of them. Now, at this point, I was wondering, does this game have any sort of, you know, critical hit backstab system or anything like that? I don't know, honestly. It does seem like getting a strong attack from the... As we can see there, it does seem like getting a strong attack on the back does a lot of damage. But unfortunately, I can't confirm this. Needless to say, at this early stage, I did not fancy trying to take on two people again. So, I moved along. So once you interact with this body, the game informs you about the weapon stance system. Every type of weapon in Nioh has 3 distinct stances, which are activated by holding R1 and pressing one of the face buttons. Triangle gives you a high stance, square gives you a mid stance, and X gives you a low stance. To my knowledge, circle just sheathes your weapon. I might be wrong on that front. Now, a high stance makes you perform slower, more powerful attacks, which are usually pretty good for taking on single enemies, getting them out of the way as quick as possible. Usually quite gorily as well, which always helps. A mid stance lets you perform relatively quicker arcing moves, which I found worked pretty well against groups. And finally, a low stance seems to let you perform some really quick attacks that happen to not do a huge amount of damage. I reckon if you're looking to, you know, very quickly jab into someone's attack chain, that's where a low stance attack would come in handy. And with that, we move into a new area. Now, immediately, this is a kind of a little township. There's a rice paddy, there's a few buildings, there's a crow, and I didn't even realise this until I watched the footage back, but there's a There's a crying baby in the distance. Yeah. Nothing better than crying babies for ridiculously creepy atmosphere out of the box, you know what I mean? Plus, if there's anything the Souls games have taught me about towns in these kind of games, it's that there will be ambushes. So many ambushes, so thus I'm going for the rice paddy first. We'll see how this turns out. Oh, with my last breath I vow revenge! Now this is where I started to get the hang of the stances. I must admit, once you understand what each of them's for, I really like this system. It is a lot of fun to just have to prioritize on the spot. Like, you know, for example, if you've got a few people coming at you, are you going to use the mid stance in order to be able to like hit them all at once, or are you going to use the high stance to try and take one of them down quickly to thin their numbers a little bit? I really enjoyed that. Ooh, right on the head. Yes, taking these two down was rather satisfying as well, especially because with that setup, you know they're hiding something. You know there's some loot over there, so actually being able to come at them prepared this time was definitely rewarding. Oh, yep, as you may have noticed, stamina is a very precious resource in this game. And it was actually worth exploring this way and taking those guards out as well, because I've got myself a spear. Just in time too. If you take a look at the bottom left, you'll see a little icon next to the symbol for my sword, which indicates that it was just about to break from repeated use through deaths and retries. From what I've played of the demo thus far, I haven't actually found any way to repair your weapons, though I do think enough of them drop from enemies naturally that you can just swap out your current weapon in case it breaks. Alright, I'm heading into the village. It's coming. Boom! There it is, it's the ambush. They're coming to get you. They're coming to kick your shins and pick your pockets. Oh! Yes, I must admit, if you're going to have an ambush happen in one of these sorts of games, this is the best place to do it. Like, you know, you can have people kick the doors open. You can just have people drop from roofs. If you have a town, you've got to have an ambush. Now we're heading into what looks like a particularly spooky forest. I must admit, I really took to the spear quite quickly. Even though a lot of its attacks will leave you wide open if you miss, it's got this really great moveset. Some of your mid-stance attacks have huge arcs, and it's not even really that slow, even in a high stance. And at long last, a Kabuto drops. I can finally work towards getting every part of my body covered by some sort of armor. Someone's coming, someone's coming. Inventory swapping under pressure. Ooh, now you see, he should have had a helmet. That wouldn't have happened. Ah yes, and with that we are geared up at last. Now, the forest. One thing I definitely liked about this forest area is that it brings along an opportunity for some light stealth. There's a number of patrolling guards and small stationary groups lurking around, so it's kind of implied that making yourself known is a really bad idea. You've got to tread carefully anyway, because it's not entirely clear where some paths are, let alone where they lead, so having quite a few guards around, in my opinion, keeps you on edge and does make you slow down a little bit. I quite like that. Now, it was just after the assault from that guy that I realised I'm actually getting quite far through the level. I've got to be really, really careful, so hence, that's why I'm going at a snail's pace, checking every single corner before I move anywhere. Because it's around this point you sort of get a sense, you start thinking, there has to be another shrine. There's got to be a checkpoint near here. If I die, I've got to go all the way back and do all that stuff again. So due care is essential. Alright, there we go, there's some progress. Could this be it? Could this be the escape? Oh. Nope, it hasn't seen me. It hasn't seen me. Alright, cool. I'm fine with this. Whatever works. I don't know if I got lucky there or that guy just legitimately was unable to see me. And yes, there it is. The beauty of the second shrine. A prayer, a rest, a save point. And a few victory spins on the menu to celebrate. Great, whilst I'm leveling up, some closing initial thoughts. Despite a number of deaths, I'm really liking this game so far. The combat system in particular is a lot of fun with the multiple stances, and there's a lot of customization to be had with the numerous weapon types as well as the skill trees that you can see me playing about with here. The skill you'll probably be seeing the most in the next part is one I grab for the spear that adds 5 quick stabs onto the end of your combo. There actually still seems to be a few features I haven't really tried out yet, like what the Guardian Spirits can do for you and so on. So, overall, very excited to get into some more Nioh. I've been Strangest Amethyst, and thank you very much for watching.